The archive that I given to Glasgow School of Art consists of a lot of drafts like these, handwritten back in the 1980s. We wrote with a pen on a piece of paper and then dictated all of the copy down the phone to male copy takers at the Herald who really didn't want to hear about collage and impasto. They wanted to hear the football. And you had to be very strict with yourself. Newspapers are a very good discipline. If the editor wants 300 words, he doesn't want 302. He wants 300 words. So it's a very good discipline. If it's 1,000 words, that's it. I trained as an artist and an art historian, which has worked very well for my 35 years of writing about artists, galleries, the whole art world. It was a perfect training. And I began with the local rag, and I ended up writing for what most people consider the best newspaper in the world. I was art critic for North America for many years. And in between, I wrote for the Herald extensively, the Scotsman. I wrote for about 6 or 7 newspapers, but primarily the Glasgow Herald that became the Herald in Scotland. So I also wrote extensively for magazines. Some of them were art magazines, and I was the editor of Arts Review for 10 years, also the Northern editor for Artline, which is still going in another form. And I also was keen to write for magazines like Harper's and World of Interiors, and 2020, which was an offshoot of Time Out, because again, this is reaching the general public. It's not such an insular world as the very specific art magazines are. I did write for those as well, Art International, Studio, etc. You can see. One of my favourite things to do is to visit an artist in his or her studio. I think you learn a lot more from that. And so I've been privileged to see the studios of Chuck Close and Calatrava, the architect, and Jenny Saville, Paul Arago, Anthony Caro, and it's been a very exciting thing to do. And then I've written about it. I had a series, one of my most popular series in the Herald, that was at the back full page of the magazine. One was studios, and another one was on collectors. Some of the more amusing sides of things. Joseph Boyce gave me a piece of cake that had a gold leaf around it, and I still have it somewhere, very hard and crunchy. Hockney, he gave me a video of his dogs, his Dachshund dogs, that he's devoted to. But it broadens your appreciation of an artist when you hear about their other passions and their interests. And of course Hockney paints his dogs as well. So I have made nearly 30 books, one for each year of all my writings, that go from 1980, when there were little tiny bits at the bottom of the page, through to 2009 for the Financial Times. And some years have got more than others, and this is 1987, when I curated The Vigorous Imagination. And as you see, there's lots. And it has an index at the back, and the index will also be online, so that you can look to May whatever and see George Wiley, or here we are, Mayfest 1987, George Wiley and his Finiston crane. So this is 1987, and it has an index at the back. And as you see, 1987 was a busy year. There was a lot going on. I was writing a lot. And I got a lot of space. I often got the top half of the page. Some of these are reduced so that they'll fit in the book. And I was very lucky because I could write in depth and in detail and interview artists, which I loved to do. And this, by coincidence, is my next project. Haven't done it yet, but is to scan all the photographs that I have of artists. This is the young Ken Curry. This is Sam Ainsley's piece that's going at the front of the National Gallery, Modern Art. And that'll be fun. So this is a magazine piece I wrote about Peter Howson, David Mack, Ken Curry, and Sam Ainsley, who taught Douglas Gordon and the generation that are now having a big success, Adrian Wisniewski, and Stephen Campbell. And there was a lot, Neil McPherson, Peter Howson again. This was important this year because it really put the Scottish artists on an international map. So these books contain 35 years of reporting and comment and analysis on artists and the art world and the gallery world. And I hope that with the archive being at the School of Art and at the Glasgow Women's Library, that it will be very well used. I hope that it will be used from Hong Kong to Toronto to Korea and Glasgow and Edinburgh, and that in generations to come it will serve a very helpful purpose.